Yeah, so what is this? Whatever it says, the dates, whatever it says on the title. And we're just blundering into another idiotic adventure. My guess is that there's a lot of Russian people who know that if they can't sell oil into Europe, that they're going to really suffer consequences. Russia's a cold place and a big place. And if they don't have any money, life gets really rough. And so what this war is about really, hopefully what doesn't become a war, is that the United States wants to sell its oil to Europe instead of Russia. So it's an oil company thing. It's Western oil companies are getting us into another conflict. And that's basically what it's about. Really, that's mostly what it's about. Yeah, so we just bumble into the next stupid thing. And of course, our politicians all have to play tough because Putin's such a tough guy, right? Of course, you got to stand up to the tough guy. And they don't understand that you have to negotiate. You have to negotiate with him how much oil he can sell into Europe, and you have to negotiate with him a buffer zone because he can't have NATO up against his boundary because they won't do it. They can't because they won't. They're not going to accept that. And so the oil companies and the weapons manufacturers are going to be the winners. The weapons manufacturers and the oil companies are going to be the winners. And everybody else is going to be the losers. And you never hear any level of analysis that rises above probably what a grade 9 student would at least vaguely understand in Russia. This is a struggle between civilizations, and in any struggle, you need to listen to the other side, because if you don't, they're going to remain in a situation where they feel that their feelings haven't been heard, aren't they? Right? You've got to listen to the other side's demands and complaints and compromise. Have we heard anybody use the word compromise yet? That we need to compromise? We need to compromise with Russia. Who has said this? If anybody said it, I would imagine that it's more my people. Because by some curious twist of history, my side is the anti-war side. And the Clintons and the Bidens, and they're all for war, right? They've always been all for war. And you've got Republicans in the United States, but like you say, like a trucker convoy type guy. Not if he's been really listening and thinking and receiving an honest education, mostly on YouTube these days, then he's going to take a more measured response. Okay, so Candice Bergen is such a hero of mine. Candice Bergen, I just love her. She's good-natured, she's funny, and when she's not in that circumstance. I mean, what we did was we just we left her out there fighting alone, it almost seems like. And she asked Trudeau, okay, so do you think that this conflict will be an opportunity for us to sell more oil and gas? Because it pretty well should be, right? That'll go mostly American companies. And he said, his answer literally was, we've always supported the people in Alberta. He does not answer a question. As a matter of principle, he does not answer the questions that are put to him. He makes a mockery of the whole parliamentary process every time he steps foot in the place. It's enough to drive you nuts. It really is, man. I would imagine that immigrants coming into Canada could care less about him. Do you think you can find an immigrant who likes Justin Trudeau? To the extent that they think about it, do you think that they like him? Because a lot of them came here because they didn't like living under various sorts of dictatorship. Living under a dictatorship is the default position. That's the direction that humanity will go unless people are educated enough to push back against it. They can recognize what a dictator does. Corrupts the media, lies all the time, gives tons of money to his friends. The latest thing with the freezing the bank accounts, that is really next level stuff, man. Like, do you actually wonder that if they would put people in prison for having an opinion? Like, just for example, do you think that they would really, in their heart of hearts, think twice about putting someone like me in prison? They couldn't do it legally, but they'd love to do it. Obviously, they'd love to do it. They'd freeze your bank account. You don't have access to your money. Talk about being unpersoned. And in response to what appeared to the rest of the world to be a loud and pretty glorious celebration of freedom. And he responded that way. People are seeing through it, obviously, now.